you please give us an update on the additional power plants being built to boost generation?
We have the NIPP projects. The beauty of the NIPP projects is that they're integrated. Integrated in the sense that each of the NIPP projects has a generation element, has a transmission element, and has a distribution element. So all of that, these ones that we are selling, you're either selling generation or you're selling distribution, while government has held on to transmission. But NIPP takes care of that. So we have them scattered all over the country. And almost every month, we'll be commissioning one after the other, between now and the end of the first quarter of next year. These plants will add additional generation of 4,700 megawatts to the grid. But the big one is Mambila, 50 megawatts, 3,050 megawatts. It's a project that has been on from 1960. It's even a little bit, its history is a little bit worse than Zongero. And this is one of the legacy projects that the great national hero and father, Sardauna Sokoto, conceived. At the time that Akasombo Dam of Ghana, Kenji, and other big dams were conceived around the world, Africa, he thought of Mambila. And it has been on, regime after regime. Again, this government has come on and has, we finished design completely. It's fully designed. So very soon we are going to go on to the procurement process. There's another dam called Gurara 2, which is at Suleja, not too far from here, 360 megawatts. That too has been on the drawing table about the same time as Zongero. That also has been fully designed and will be going on starting very soon. So these are some of the projects from the point of view of renewable energy and Kaduna from gas. But there are also a number of other projects that private sector will come in as IPPs. We're giving license to many Nigerians. So many are going on right now. For example, the one by in Aba by Geometric, the former minister Batanaji, is completed, and President will commission that project on the 21st of November, which is showing a major breakthrough for private sector participation. Then we have another one that is coming up around Benin called Azura, which is very young Nigerians that are coming up with a new project. The beauty of all this is that there's a bulk trader. That is the bulk trader, the off-taker, even before you start. So if you want to come into power coming, before you even construct, if your papers are right, he gives you an agreement that anything you produce, I'll buy. And that is the incentive, the encouragement of the private investors. And the bulk trader is securitized by the World Bank. World Bank has signed on, and the Nigerian government has given the bulk trader a lot of money to make people know that it's not just saying it, but there is money to pay in case you produce and it is not fully consumed.
Please give us an update on the PHCN workers' entitlement.
Well, PHCN workers' entitlement, that was the most difficult part of the entire process. First, let me begin by appreciating the labor leaders. The labor leaders were dogged. I had never been exposed to labor leaders. As you know, in my previous life, I was more outside. I'm a diplomat. Well, I am in my previous life a diplomat. So I was traveling and talking on behalf of Nigeria. I was not used to dealing with labor and negotiating. So the whole idea of negotiating labor was a little bit scary. But no, the labor leaders were firm, very firm. Said, no, you must do this thing for our people. Yes. But at the same time, very patriotic. When they saw that this country needed them, the labor leaders said, no, our country comes first. And I must congratulate them. I made them, the Secretary General of Labor Union, Comrade Ajero, Comrade Bido Para for the senior staff, and Comrade Mansour for the junior staff. You know, they really fought for that people, but they put this country in front of themselves. And I think Nigerians need to be very grateful to them and the workers themselves. So, but at the end of the day, they got everything. The workers agreed with government. So we've been able to, the total, all numbers were dropped. They said 50,000, 100,000. Finally, we were able to zero down to 47,913 workers identified as PACN workers. After that process, we now subjected them to different levels of revalidation, because all kinds of people are reincarnating from their graves to become living PACN workers. We finally came to a total of 45,413 as the workers who passed all biometric capture, leaving 2,500 as those that could not be accounted for. They are there, people know them, the PACN staff know them that this is our staff, but bring your document, nothing. Absolutely. Nothing at all. Nothing anywhere to say that they are workers. No document anywhere showing that they have ever been on salary. The people know that they were in the offices doing their work. I can only imagine, it's like a case where you have a private driver who takes you to work every day, sits there with you every day for a period of 20 years. Everybody sees him as one of the drivers, and believing that he's a driver of the institution. And
but he was never properly employed.
Yeah, he was never properly employed, and there were so many cases like that.
So what happens to those people?
We are handling their cases, and it will be dealt in the most compassionate way. It's being dealt with. But then 45,413 people were confirmed. So those are the people we are dealing with. But of that number again, in further rigorous re-auditing and so on, Accountant General's office has still identified one or two problems. As at the date we're handing over, we have confirmed and paid the benefits of 40,093, 40093, confirmed without any blemish, without any problem. We paid their severance benefits, and their pension component has been given to the pension fund custodian and the pension fund administrators, and they will deal with it according to the pension laws of the country. So that's where we start. So labor, we've sufficiently dealt with labor issue. Now the remaining number from the 45,000, that's coming to about 5,000 people, are mostly cases where biometric capture vanishes or they become viral, become corrupted. Those are individual cases that were being dealt with. But we have kept a technical committee made up of labor and government that will work through the next few months to validate every one of them rightly and pay them their benefits. And of course, going forward, we thank God at this time the President has brought in one of the best technocrats and professionals as Minister of Power, Professor Chinedu Nebo. He's a good man. And when he came in, they asked him that, Minister, what will you do to make sure life stabilizes? Professor Nebo is Archdeacon in the church, in the Anglican church, which is next rank to becoming a bishop. So he said he's going to chase the demons that have kept light away. But more than that, he's a very serious professor of engineering. And he has brought a lot of candor, direction, and leadership to the sector, and a good support to Mr. President and the Vice President, who directly oversees the power sector. And so the trio of Mr. President, the Vice President, President and VP is interesting. President is a biologist. He deals a lot with microscope and into details. VP is an architect, also very much into details. And the Minister is an engineer, also into details. So it helps very much. And for the time I'm there, I'll continue to give them the support for us to go forward.
On a personal level, you were ambassador of Nigeria to a few countries. You were also interested in the office of Governor of Bayelsa State.
No.
You were touted as you were never interested, or you changed your mind?
Let's discuss the power sector. I served Bayelsa State as Secretary to Government, and I think that was very rewarding. The period we served as Secretary of Government, and I had the privilege of working with one of the greatest statesmen of our time, Mr. President, as Governor. So that was a good opportunity for me to serve, then return back to my federal level.
Ambassador Godknows Igali, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Ma.
And we thank you for watching. Please join us again next week when View from the Top returns. But between now and then, let's continue the conversation online at channelstv.com. Thank you again, and have a good day.